Really hot.
Check, check.
Pretty hot. You got me? Hey, you got me? I like your suit, Tone. I like that coat. I'm watching you on the live stream.
Yeah, the audio, I felt like I...
Really? That's impossible.
You said you heard Chris on the YouTube stream? Oh, okay, stand by.
Hey, you got me? Okay, cool. Hey, they're working on it. They'll get it fixed in a minute. Jamie just walked in and said, hey, we're working on it. We'll get it fixed. He stepped up. I assume so. I don't see Brian, but I think he's on the phone. Yeah. Whoa, that's weird. I hear that. Also, from what I hear on the YouTube stream, it's very hot mic on my end.
Hey, Nick, do me a favor. Turn your local on the back of that thing where you have it plugged in. There's the local. Turn the local one down. No, not on the mic. You know how you have the aprons plugged into the back of the comments? there should be one that, a dial, a knob that says local, turn that down. Okay, might have been all the way up. How's that? That didn't change anything. It doesn't? And as far as the station, YouTube go, it's still static. I'm so sick of this video stuff. Like, why are you guys coming through the YouTube? Like, none of your stuff in video ever works. You have the 8-inch plugged into the headphone? Yes, I'm out. Should I try my quarter inch and go back to that? Make sure, because you know there's three in there, make sure that the mono in and the return is turned off. And do just to the right on or to the right? Which way's off? To the left. To the left. To the left is off. Alright, well they're all off. Except for local. Okay. Alright, say that again, Jamie? Why are you guys coming through the YouTube? Can we figure that out? Why it's not the radio?
Plug in right here. Yeah. I don't want to mess up. No, you're good. There you go. Okay. No, it's just static in you guys. Oh yeah, hold on. Yep. Okay, yeah, that helps there. Check 1, 2. You got me?
I'll call you back in 1 sec.
Yes.
All right, we're good.
Yeah, welcome aboard on this Tuesday, live from Radio Row in New Orleans. Good afternoon, Tampa Bay. It is The Drive with T-Craz, presented by Moss Nissan, and we are on the air live from the Big Easy, and it's great to have you with us. We're in Radio Row, getting you set for Super Bowl 59. Nick Wise is with me, trying to keep everything in order, and we've got Chris Mathis back at our Rude Air and Water Studios. We are live in living color, don't you know? And 95.3 on the FM side, the mighty AM620. WDAE and AM620. The phone numbers, you know them, you love them. Now use them, 888-546-4620. You can text in your thoughts on the Bartow 4 DAE text platform at 82945. Begin your text with DAE, followed by your comments in 140 characters or less so they make their way here. And all guests will appear by the Central Florida Behavioral Health Network DAE hotline. We have a great show planned for you here. Day number 2 on Radio Row. The activity is starting to pick up, and in about a few minutes, we'll talk to Randy Grimes, who will be with us in about 10 minutes or so. Randy Grimes, 9 years in the NFL, all with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and, you know, he's spearheading now a personal quest to promote recovery, to promote awareness. We all know how he battled through drug and alcohol problems and things of that nature and addiction issues, and he wants to be able to use his personal story to be obviously a beacon of life to try and improve others out there. So we'll talk to Randy Grimes. He will join us. Rock Riley is here, longtime Tampa Bay sports icon. He's going to be with me coming up at 2:30. We've got Ryan Lee, former NFL quarterback. He'll be with us later. Trevor Sikkema later. We've got Take It or Leave It. We've got Fill in the Blank. We've got all sorts of things happening as we take you all the way up until 7 o'clock. It is the start of a 4-hour sports talk extravaganza for you live here at Radio Row, where there's a buzz starting to build now with the big game now one day even closer. We're 5 days away from Super Bowl 59, and we had the opening night media circus that was, and you know, Jameis Winston, the former Buccaneer quarterback, was right there at the center of it all with his new gig as a media guy for Fox, and good Jameis, and he was making the rounds, and he was handing out very clever on his part, these W-shaped cookies to a lot of people. So Jameis is somewhere. I haven't seen him yet here today. There's so many people walking around, more so than yesterday. So we're going to try and get Jameis Winston on at some point. I saw Carmen Vitale, FoxSports.com. Awesome person. She's doing an awesome job, so I got a chance to say hello to her. So we're going to get her on at some point in the next couple of days. I mean, we've got so many guests. Also, Kurt Schilling will be by a little bit later on, and He feels like he should be in the Hall of Fame. We're going to talk to him about some things as well. Just so much to do between now and 7 o'clock. The intrigue is building here from Super Bowl Radio Row as we get you closer to the big game on Sunday. So what's the buzz around New Orleans as we get closer to Super Sunday? And what were we up to last night as well? That is the theme of our opening drive here on a Tuesday. Opening drive presented Whiskey 91. Check it out. Ask for it at your local retail store or at a bar near you. Drink Chattanooga whiskey, and as always, enjoy responsibly. So, just a little bit of insight into what we've observed here in the city of New Orleans. Last night, Nick and I went out to dinner, and we certainly had a good time in doing so. Went to Brennan, so you know, a famous place here in New Orleans. It was everything that we all thought it was going to be and a whole lot more. So right when we, enter the restaurant, beautiful restaurant, great layout, the architecture and the ambiance and everything else. So we sit down, and then about, 10 to 12 feet to our right was a longtime friend and colleague, Mr. Adam Shine, who is absolutely killing it. His career is taking off. He's over at Sirius XM, and he does TV work as well. Incredible guy, and once upon a time, he and I were interns together up in New York at WFAN. So, I sat down. He turned around. He looked at me. He pointed at me. He goes, "Tom Krasnicki." And I pointed at him. I go, "Adam Shine." So, we had an embrace. We talked for a little bit. We're going to get him on the show later on this week. I saw him earlier today as well. So we sat down for this meal, and Nick and I are looking over the menu. Nick Wise is here with me. What an experience that was.
Yeah, we tried something we had never tried before. We both had, do you want to get into what we ate? I mean, you can't get that in Tampa.
No. So I've never seen this before in a menu.
You were very weirded out by it.
I was.
But you loved it.
Initially. And anyone who knows me, and I was talking to my sister last night, she's like, you're like one of the pickiest eaters I've ever met. So I was telling her about our culinary experience last night, so she was just as surprised. On the menu was something called turtle soup.
100% turtle meat.
100% turtle meat. And I looked at Nick, I'm like, what would possess anyone to chop up these docile creatures that are just crawling, across the street or across the sidewalk, and there are people out there going out there looking for turtles, catching turtles, carving up turtles, and you make soup out of these just unbelievably peaceful creatures.
And he's asking all those questions, and I'm like, it was so good.
It was like a Seinfeld episode. It's like, why would anyone eat turtle soup? Who eats turtle soup? These are peaceful creatures. You're grinding them up, and you're making soup out of turtles. So I got to tell you, it was unbelievably good.
I went back again for breakfast.
You went back there for breakfast?
I did.
Was turtle soup on the menu? Did it have a turtle omelet too?
No, I got lobster omelet. Yesterday I had the jambalaya omelet, rice inside an omelet. Sounds weird, sounds gross, but it was actually really good. The food here, I don't know what it is, the seasonings and the spices, but the food here is just, and everybody said that coming in. I've never been here. It's lived up to the hype, and I've only eaten at really just one place, and two now actually.
Two now, and it was extraordinary. So the turtle soup was great. I had scallops for dinner. That was absolutely extraordinary. The best probably that I've ever had. And I know Tampa, there's some great eateries there and some great places that serve scallops. The scallops that I had at Brennan's were second to none. And then came the delight of dessert. So if you know this place, they supposedly, I know Chris Mathis was all about it. Hey, Bananas Fosters, you got to try Bananas Fosters. So we tried the Bananas Fosters, Chris Mathis, and it was nothing short of amazing, brother. Well, it was incredible. I mean, just the setup and, the display and how they did it. And I think I put it on my socials, you light a little fire, thing goes way high.
The fire hit the chandelier.
Yeah, for the couple next to us that had the same thing. So, we thought we were going to have a little bit of an incident on our hands. But Bananas Foster's was out of this world, go. What an incredible meal.
Yeah, it was. My pants already don't fit. I'm on the elastic pants. All the food has just been so good.
It was great. So Nick and I decided to go out, and, Chris Mathis, you should be glad to know that we went out on Bourbon Street, and we took a stroll, and we just wanted to see what it was all about. There were some people out there. I will say this. The police and military presence on Bourbon Street was second to none. This has to be the safest place in America this week, New Orleans, because obviously of the tragedy that took place on New Year's Eve here. I was talking to a lot of people about that said incident. But there were military with automatic weapons. There were troopers. There was police. I mean, there's a police presence within every square inch of Bourbon Street and in the downtown area. So they're taking it very seriously, and it feels really safe because there's a lot of people. These strip clubs, Chris Mathis. I think I saw a picture outside of one of these that do not let this man in. Everything else. Care to comment? That's
Wait, did you have to go to an ATM? Your card didn't work? Who goes to an ATM at that's the number one rule, buddy.
Listen, it's nothing to feel ashamed about. Listen,
We've all done it.
I'll tell you this. I don't even know who you are anymore, Chris Mathis. Well, once I heard these tales, I was talking to people on Bourbon Street. They knew exactly who you were. I mean, the legend of Chris Mathis, the wild man Chris Mathis, continues to grow. There's a legacy here, and it's growing by the minute. It was a great first night, I can tell you that. And we're looking forward to day number 2. The activity is starting to pick up here a little bit for day number 2. We're hoping to get some really great guests, and we've got a great guest list for today, and it could grow even more. I saw Carmen Vitale of FoxSports.com. She's awesome. I haven't seen her, obviously, since she left Tampa Bay. She's doing great things, so she's going to come on with us. At some point, Sarah Walsh and Cynthia Freeland will come on with us at some point later on this week, maybe a Derek Brooks or Booker McFarland. So there's so many people walking around here, and we're going to try and get any and all of them to stop on by here on the drive between now and Friday as we work our way up to Super Bowl 59. Just an incredible scene here, and it's only going to get even better. We've got the media party coming up tonight right after the show. Nick and I will be headed there. Brock Riley will also be headed there. Rock will join us coming up in about 15 minutes or so at the bottom of the hour, and we'll certainly get his thoughts on the Super Bowl, and he's been to quite a few of these Super Bowls as well. But this has been a great ride so far. From first time I kind of walked down there, and it's kind of like Ybor in a sense, with the balconies and the narrow streets and everything else, and a lot of activity going on. So it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Would I care to go back? I don't know. I may go back and check it out because it's right near our hotel. But it's not like, a must-see type of experience, so to speak. But it's something I guess you have to experience if you come to New Orleans. That's one of the places everyone wants to see, as well as the great restaurants and the incredible food and the ambiance here in the Big Easy. So great to have you with us. It is The Drive. We are live here on Radio Row, as we'll be here throughout the entire week. And with me, RightEHN.org, right here on site on Radio Row. 9 years in the NFL, all with your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Former Buccaneer Randy Grimes is with me here. Fire the cannons, Randy. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here. Did you go upstairs? Did you see the pretzels?
Oh, yeah. I just stole one from somebody. They're going to miss it when they come back to their table.
Great
How
deal.
are you?
Doing great. Every year we always talk to you around Super Bowl time because, You deliver a great message to a lot of people out there who are struggling with addiction and everything else, and you want to be a beacon of hope to aspiring athletes and everyone else alike. So tell us what you're doing here at the Super Bowl.
Well, and I do this every year. It's my 16th year advocating for people struggling with mental health and substance abuse issues. It sounds like I only help NFL players, but no, that's not true. I help everybody. Anybody who wants to get free from this disease of addiction, and that's why Heather's here with me. Her facility, Serenity Light Recovery and Wellness, is, we've teamed up with the Player Care Foundation, and we've been able to help lots of former NFL players with their substance abuse and mental health stuff.
Yeah, Serenity Light, SerenityLightRecovery.com, ProAthletesInRecovery.org as well, and you wrote a book called Off Center. Obviously, you were a center for many, many years, so tell us about your book.
Yeah, the book was only meant to be a platform to help my family heal, to help us all get past my addiction, and little did I know how much it would be, or how well it would be received out there. And, it's been a great opportunity for all of us. My wife helped me write it, or she wrote most of it, okay? So she's the real hero of the story, and we've been real pleased with the way it turned out.
Well, that's awesome, and your story is certainly encouraging and inspiring for so many people. Randy Grimes, a former Buccaneer center, joining me here live on Radio Row for The Drive, WDAE in Tampa. So a lot of people in Tampa are listening, obviously. They're always in your corner. So for those who don't know, you had an addiction to painkillers while you were playing. You played 9 years in the NFL. The question that I have for you is, we're now in a 17-game regular season. Roger Goodell wants to make this an 18-game regular season at some point, and I'm guessing you don't think that's such a great idea because of everything that players go through when it comes to the mental and physical grind of things.
Well, I do and I don't. The collective bargaining agreement has changed the game so much to where these guys hardly hit. We were talking just a minute ago about how things were back when I played, and we used to beat the hell out of each other all week long. And hopefully there's enough left in the tank to play on Sunday, but the game's changed so much since then. They only put on pads, 3 or 4 times a year. Practices have gotten shorter. Training camp has gotten shorter. They don't have the same injuries they had back when I played. They're not out as long. The guys are having longer careers and fewer injuries. So the game's changed a lot since I played. So the opportunity is there to have a nice long 12, 15-year career, if you really take care of yourself.
It also has changed a lot, and you know this too, in terms of sports science, and the athletes today are bigger, stronger, faster than ever before. We were talking about Myles Garrett yesterday. They don't make guys like that anymore, like 6'5", almost 300 pounds, who's strong, fast, quick. I mean, the collisions are more violent. Obviously, head trauma has been a real hot topic of conversation going back for the last 30 years. So when you played in the 80s, when talking about head trauma, there was a lot of stories that I've heard from players as if, okay, I would suffer a head injury, but I don't know if I had a concussion. I just played through it. That's what you did back then because you were afraid of the guy behind you taking your spot. Was that legitimate?
Yeah, that's legit. And as a matter of fact, I can remember having a concussion in the Silverdome up in Detroit. And I walked off and sat on Detroit's bench, and they put me back in the game. But that's, that was the extent of concussion protocol back then. How many fingers am I holding up? And if you came within 1 or 2 in your guess, you got put back in there.
And that was it.
That was it.
No smelling salts.
Well, I mean, you could get that on your own if you wanted it, but things have changed a lot, and that wasn't that long ago.
Right. How many concussions do you think you had, roughly? 18.
18 that I can count since first year in high school. Yeah, first one I remember having all the way through. I had several with the Bucks. Yeah. And then, my wife will tell you that there is. I'm okay.
Well, that's awesome. Randy Grimes is with us, former. Your thoughts on the Buccaneers?